All right, everyone. A bunch of pro-illegal immigration groups have decided to take methods into their own hands. They're 3D printing whistles and honking their horns and stuff like that in order to warn illegal immigrants in the area that ICE is around. Now, is this legal? Yes. Could be a public noise complaint, but really, nobody gives a fucking shit about that unless it's like 2 a.m. They've got like 5 kids and they got woken up. Now their home is in chaos. That would fucking suck. Remember when the protesters during the Summer of Love riots were shining lasers at people's kids in their bedroom windows and stuff like that? That was a little bit creepy now, isn't it? Well, that got memory hold real quick. Probably a reason for this. There always is. These groups, though, they're not breaking the law, generally speaking. They are simply saying, observe the arrests, stand back and don't interfere physically and stuff like that. So it is lawful. This is a form of activistic protest, but it's dumb. It's cringe. It's retarded. You are effectively attempting to do everything within your legal capability to not enforce border control policy and immigration policy in the US. And a lot of these people have Trump derangement syndrome, but apparently are unaware of the history of immigration law in the US, not realizing that Congress is what incepted it, not Donald Trump, and that most of the current ordinances that are finally actually being enforced, they date back to like the Bush-Obama era. Some of them date back to Ronald Reagan and even before that. So the laws were already incepted, they were just ignored. Nobody gave a damn about them. Congress never cared, and every subsequent president would say basically what Trump has said about immigration anyway. Ronald Reagan, fucking Obama himself, all of these others, certainly Bush, they talked a big game about how, yeah, I like immigration, but it's got to be legal. And, we're going to try to figure out a solution to the problem. But none of them ever did anything. None of them actually had any follow through. Trump did follow through, and all of a sudden he's getting shit for it. What he should do is he should come out on TV. Well, I mean, nobody watches actual cable TV anymore, but he should come out to the public, have a big press conference and say, look, I'm just helping to enforce the laws that were already there. Oh, look, this section is from 1979 or something. I mean, in some cases, that's like the time period you're thinking of. Immigration in the modern sense was in the United States was effectively incepted in the middle of the 1960s under JFK. Since then, of course, it's been modified and various laws are made, but no real attempt was made to guard the border. And until fairly recently, it looked like a brick of Swiss cheese. It may be a little bit better now, but there are still gaps in the border that need to be plugged. I would like Trump to talk more about this, by the way, because simply deporting people is not meaningful when they can just come back in when another administration that's not taking its job seriously, like the Biden administration, happens to exist. And unfortunately, that's likely to happen. You've had Democratic politicians literally call for dismantling the fortifications that are already at the border. Beto O'Rourke is probably the greatest example of that when he was gyrating around like a priest or something like that, like he was speaking in tongues, rambling about tearing down the wall. I think he was trying to oddly echo Reagan at that time. Mr. Trump, tear down this wall. That was basically what it sounded like. That was a very, very bizarre election, by the way. I mean, they've all been bizarre lately, but more bizarre than even the last one was. There's some weird shit going on, dude. These groups are pretending to be the modern day version of Harriet Tubman. Like, they're going to have like secret signals and stuff like that. The problem is in the digital era, people leave a digital trail when they spread ideas. So let's say that these people start hanging up lanterns and it's like one lantern for land and two by sea or something like that. Or in the Underground Railroad days, they used to have marked towels and stuff like that. So they could hang that out as sort of a banner letting escaped slaves know this is a safe place. No, this is not a safe place. You should go away. They did this habitually, using signage. I'm surprised that they don't appear to have adapted that for this particular so-called activistic movement. It's only a matter of time before they try. The problem is they're going to spread that online and people will leak it, and then people will actually be targeting the illegal immigrants probably even more. ICE will very quick. Well, here's the problem. ICE is run by the government. Government is slow. It is inefficient. And the people that are running the show are not very intelligent much of the time. So it might take a little while before ICE actually wises up to any particular strategy that is being utilized. Like, there's nothing you can do about people using whistles. There's really nothing that ICE can do about that. So if groups of people who call themselves safety patrols, when really it's just rolling your eyes cringe lords, when they start whistling in the streets to let illegals know, hey, we want you illegally in our country because we need somebody to pick our asparagus, which is basically what it boils down to. So, quick, hide, run, get under the bed, something like that. ICE is coming. They're going to deport you. And I really want you to hit your minimum wage today. Again, picking my beets or something like that, my soybeans. That's basically how liberals are treating them. These are not safety patrols. If anything, they're anti-safety patrols based on the spike in crime that's a result of people that are in cartels and stuff like that coming into the country. It's all well and good to think it's noble to cause somebody who's not doing anything else wrong. So they're illegally in the country. They are breaking the law, but they're just trying to live. There's nothing wrong, in my opinion, ethically, with trying to warn them so that they don't get hurt or something like that. And a lot of these people, you got to realize, give them some sympathy. A lot of these people, they've seen some clips online because everyone's doom scrolling all the time anyway, of random acts of violence by ICE agents in a handful of cases, which has happened. And so they've extrapolated that to mean that ICE is simply the Gestapo. They're brutalizing everything in their path. Under such circumstances, I can have sympathy for the mentality. What they need to realize, and really what should be what is being told to them by people who actually understand reality, is that they're also inadvertently warning cartel members and terrorists as well in the process. It's not always going to be Mamacita and her three babies. That's not usually what it is. ICE is specifically attempting to ride along with law enforcement in order to target the bad hombres, so to speak. A disproportionate number of people that are being explicitly raided are not just illegally in the country, they're involved with human trafficking, drug sales, and things of that nature. In some cases, outright violent terrorism, which cartels do too. It's just, it depends on the designation. It's kind of arbitrary at times, admittedly. But your whistle there might accidentally warn a cartel member to flee. What will you do? How is it moral or ethical if the next thing that they do is slice somebody's throat, blow somebody away, or sell fentanyl to some middle schoolers or something like that, which doesn't generally happen because middle schoolers tend not to have a lot of money. All right, college kids. Sell them a bunch of fentanyl, and 3, 4 people die. You are now partially culpable. You're partially responsible for that person not having been incarcerated, even though they're a member of Trendiarago or something like that. You're literally warning cartel members and terrorists to flee so that they don't get caught. I can understand the basic premise and ethos behind it, but it's just goddamn cringe. And it's goddamn stupid. And you're not part of the Underground Railroad. You're just dicking off. And a lot of these people are also virtue signaling anyway. That's about all. Peace out.